Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a mythological epic that is just absolutely mind-blowing. We're analyzing a story that digs deep into the terrifying consequences of unchecked ego, the absolute limits of cosmic justice, and a love so profound it literally shattered the universe. We're talking about the epic of Veerabhadra. This is the warrior born straight out of the unimaginable fiery wrath of Mahadev, Lord Shiva himself. So let's jump right into this ancient mystery. To really grasp this, we have to go back, way back, before creation, before the earth, the sky, the sun, or even time itself existed. There was only Mahadev, and he existed in this state of eternal, absolute stillness. The source material tells us he sat in deep meditation for just countless eras, completely untouched by hunger, thirst, or fatigue. I mean, the universe literally ran on his cues. Gods feared him, demons trembled before him. But, and this is absolutely crucial, hidden deep within that perfect stillness was a dormant wrath. A wrath that was never, ever meant to wake up. Because, well, if it did, there would be no one in existence who could save the universe from it.
Now, to understand the conflict, you have to look at the clash between two incredibly different worlds. On one side, you've got Mount Kailash, Mahadev's realm. Picture blindingly white snow and a stillness so pure that even the wind blows slowly, just so it doesn't wake anyone. It's a place completely driven by love. Nandi, the sacred bull, dances there for one reason only, because Shiva's wife Sati is happy. But then, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have Mahakal. This is the domain of Prajapati Daksha, who is Sati's father. Daksha's palace is loud. It's defined by these materialistic gold walls, silver pillars, and the thick, suffocating smoke of ghee from constant rituals. It's a place just entirely consumed by Daksha's noisy arrogance and his desperate need for cosmic status.
Section 2. An invitation denied. The spark of conflict.
So, that profound peace on Kailash, it's suddenly and very deliberately shattered. Devrishi Narada, the cosmic messenger, arrives at Kailash, and his arrival instantly halts Nandi's joyful dance. It just chills the warmth right out of the mountain. He brings some pretty shocking news. Prajapati Daksha is hosting a Mahayagya, this grand sacrificial fire ritual, on a scale the universe has never seen before. All the great gods are invited. We're talking Brahma, Vishnu, Indra, the celestial kings, the sages, the whole shebang. But there's a glaring omission. Sati and Mahadev have been deliberately excluded. Now, hearing this, Sati is obviously deeply hurt, but she insists on going anyway. She argues that a daughter doesn't need a formal invitation to visit her own father's house, right? She convinces herself it must just be a mistake.
And this is where Mahadev's response is just so profound. He warns her, saying, "When a father does not invite you, going only opens the door to insult. The pain you get there, I will never forgive myself for." You see, Shiva has ultimate foresight. He knows exactly what Daksha's up to. He tells Sati, look, this wasn't a clerical error. This was a calculated decision, and there is no place for you there. Yet, because true love provides life and freedom, not chains, he doesn't force her to stay. He actually lets her go. He watches with this incredibly heavy heart as Sati journeys all alone through the snowy peaks and dense forests, heading straight toward her father's glittering palace.
Section 3. The Sacrifice of Sati. Ego's Fatal Mistake.
This is where Daksha's ego makes a fatal, literally universe-altering mistake. Sati arrives at the Grand Yagya. She's expecting the warmth of a father's love, but instead, she walks directly into a trap of public humiliation. When she walks in, the entire hall falls dead silent. Instead of welcoming his daughter, Daksha publicly mocks Mahadev. In front of all the assembled gods, he calls the Supreme Lord of the universe a beggar and a gori, a dweller of crematoriums. He even looks at Sati and tells her she died to him the very day she took that beggar's hand. I really want you to pause for a second and let the gravity of that cosmic sin sink in. Daksha is insulting the very source of creation in front of the universe's elite. And in that moment, Sati's profound pain just transforms. The tears stop, and she's overcome by this eerie, storm-like calmness.
She looks at her father, but no longer as his daughter. She's looking at him as the primordial mother of the universe, and she delivers this absolutely chilling realization. She says, I return this body you gave me. Mahadev's wrath will not be stopped by your yagya or any boon. History will always remember what happens today. She declares that Daksha has committed a grave sin by insulting the one whose permission is literally required for even a single leaf to fall, and with those final words, as the gods watch in frozen absolute horror, Sati steps directly into the sacrificial fires of the yagya, surrendering her physical form. Which brings us to a really terrifying question. What happens when the universe's ultimate power, the being who holds the cosmos in balance, violently loses his love?
Section 4. Wrath of the Mahakal. The Awakening of Destruction.
Meanwhile, back on Kailash, Mahadev doesn't even need a messenger to tell him what just happened. He feels it instantly. An immense storm hits the mountain. Glaciers shatter. Ancient trees are violently uprooted. Slowly, Mahadev's third eye opens, and he begins chanting the devastating mantra, Om Rudraya Namaha. In a state of absolute, unrestrained agony, Shiva rips out a lock of his own matted hair, his jata. With the force of 1,000 storms, he smashes it onto the ground. The impact literally shatters the earth, sending these massive pillars of fire shooting into the sky. And from those blinding flames, two terrifying entities are born, Veerabhadra and Bhadrakali.
Now, you have to understand who Veerabhadra is. He is the living embodiment of Mahakal's wrath, born with 3 eyes, multiple arms holding devastating weapons, and a body that is quite literally radiating fire. Every step he takes crushes mountains. Every breath he takes burns the air around him. But, and this is a key takeaway from the source material, Veerabhadra is not just some mindless monster. He's the physical avatar of cosmic justice. He was born from love and pain and sent by Mahadev, along with millions of Shivganas, ghosts, spirits, warriors, to completely crush Daksha's arrogance. And not just Daksha, but to punish every single god who stood by silently and watched Sati burn. Section 5. The Ultimate Retribution. The Fall of Kankal.
Mahadev commands Veerabhadra to turn Daksha's pride into dust. And guys, this triggers a chaotic, unstoppable assault on the palace. Meteors begin raining down from a pitch-black sky. The earth shakes violently as Veerabhadra just effortlessly breaches the palace gates. The king of the gods, Indra, tries to fight back with his mighty thunderbolt, the Vajra, but he is instantly, effortlessly swatted aside by the invading forces. Then, things get truly staggering. Lord Vishnu, who is actually bound by a prior promise to protect the Yagya, throws his ultimate weapon, the Sudarshan Chakra. This is a disc that can slice through the fabric of the universe, but Veerabhadra, he simply catches it in his mouth. No way around it. All of the gods' boons and powers were completely useless against true cosmic wrath. Finally, they find a terrified, crawling Daksha in hiding. Without a single word, Veerabhadra drags him by his hair, decapitates him with a heavy sword, and throws his head into the very sacrificial fire Daksha was so incredibly proud of.
Actually, right before that final blow was struck, a really fascinating exchange happened between Veerabhadra and Vishnu. When the Sudarshan Chakra was stopped, Vishnu didn't fight back. He stepped aside and said, "I am a servant of Mahadev. What he commands is Dharma." Vishnu realizes a profound cosmic truth here. Yes, he was bound by a promise to protect the ritual, but he recognizes that Mahadev's will is the ultimate destiny. Justice had arrived, and even the preserver of the universe had to bow to it.
Section 6. Love and Cosmic Justice. The Aftermath of the Storm.
Eventually, the smoke clears over the ruins of Kankal. The gods have fled, the Golden Palace is a graveyard, and Veerabhadra returns victorious to Kailash. But this was a deeply, deeply tragic victory. Yes, justice was served, the ego was crushed, but Mahadev remained silent because Sati did not return. In this just heartbreaking image, the most powerful being in existence, the master of time and space, slowly walks into the ruins, lifts Sati's burned body to his chest, and begins to wander. He wanders the universe aimlessly, weeping endlessly. The source text actually notes that when Mahadev cries, the very balance of creation trembles. It shows us that even in total victory, the personal cost was just unimaginable.
And this brings us to the core philosophical takeaway of this whole explainer. Mahadev's wrath isn't just some blind, chaotic punishment. It is the ultimate justice against unchecked ego. The epic of Veerabhadra is a stark reminder for all of us that no matter how high your golden walls are or how many boons you have, arrogance will always eventually fall. Yet at the exact same time, it proves that true love never truly dies. It carries a weight that can literally bend the cosmos itself.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If even the absolute power of the universe, the creator and destroyer himself, cannot save the one he loves from the destructive consequences of someone else's ego, is the story of Veerabhadra really a tale of righteous victory, or is it ultimately the universe's greatest tragedy? Think about that delicate balance between divine justice, the absolute blindness of arrogance, and the impossibly heavy price of love.
Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.